Introduction: The story of Cain and Abel is one of the most well-known stories in the Bible. It is a tragic tale of sibling rivalry and jealousy that resulted in the first recorded murder in human history. This story has been interpreted and analyzed by scholars and theologians for centuries, and its relevance and significance continue to be felt today. In this essay, we will explore the story of Cain and Abel in detail, analyzing its key themes and messages. Background: The story of Cain and Abel is found in the book of Genesis in the Old Testament of the Bible. Genesis is the first book of the Bible and contains the creation story, as well as the stories of Adam and Eve, Noah and the flood, and the Tower of Babel. The story of Cain and Abel takes place after the expulsion of Adam and Eve from the Garden of Eden, where they were created by God. Adam and Eve had two sons, Cain and Abel. The story of Cain and Abel begins with the birth of Cain and Abel. Cain was the firstborn, and Abel was born second. Cain became a farmer, while Abel became a shepherd. The story goes that Cain and Abel both made offerings to God. Cain offered some of the crops that he had grown, while Abel offered some of the firstborn of his flock. God accepted Abel's offering but rejected Cain's. This made Cain very angry and jealous. In the Bible, it says that God told Cain that he could still make things right by doing what is good. He told Cain that sin was waiting to take over his life, but that he must master it instead. Cain, however, ignored God's warning and instead invited Abel to go out into the field with him. While they were out there, Cain attacked Abel and killed him. When God asked Cain where Abel was, Cain lied and said that he did not know. God then cursed Cain, making him a wanderer and a fugitive. Analysis: The story of Cain and Abel has been analyzed in many ways, and scholars have found many themes and messages within it. One of the most prominent themes is that of sibling rivalry. Cain was jealous of Abel, and this jealousy led to murder. This theme is still relevant today, as sibling rivalry can still lead to conflict and even violence. Another theme that is present in the story is that of acceptance. Cain's offering was not accepted by God, and this made him angry. This theme of acceptance is still relevant today, as people often feel rejected and left out when they are not accepted by others. This story shows that acceptance is important and that rejection can lead to negative consequences. The story of Cain and Abel also highlights the consequences of sin. Cain was warned by God that sin was waiting to take over his life, but he chose to ignore this warning. His jealousy and anger led to murder, and this resulted in him being cursed and becoming a wanderer. This theme of the consequences of sin is still relevant today, as people's actions can have negative consequences that they may not have intended. The story of Cain and Abel also shows the importance of honesty. When God asked Cain where Abel was, Cain lied and said that he did not know. This lie only made things worse for Cain, and he was ultimately punished for his actions. This theme of honesty is still relevant today, as people's lies can lead to negative consequences and damage their relationships with others. Finally, the story of Cain and Abel shows the importance of forgiveness. Even though Cain had committed a terrible crime, God still showed him mercy and protected him from harm. This theme of forgiveness is still relevant today, as forgiveness can help to heal wounds and repair damaged relationships. The story of Cain and Abel has significant relevance in the world today. It continues to be studied, analyzed, and interpreted by scholars and theologians, and its messages and themes are still applicable to modern-day society. One of the most prominent themes of the story is that of the consequences of sin. Cain's actions had dire consequences, not only for himself but also for his family and future generations. This theme is still relevant today, as people's actions can have far-reaching consequences that can affect not only themselves but also others around them. The story serves as a warning to people to be mindful of their actions and the potential consequences they may bring. Another important theme of the story is that of forgiveness. Despite Cain's heinous act, God still showed him mercy and protection. This theme of forgiveness is still relevant today, as forgiveness is a crucial aspect of healing and moving on from past hurts and wrongdoings. It is a reminder that, no matter how terrible a person's actions may be, there is always a possibility for redemption and forgiveness. The story also highlights the importance of acceptance and honesty. Cain's rejection by God and his lie about Abel's whereabouts demonstrate the negative consequences of dishonesty and rejection. This theme is relevant today, as people still struggle with acceptance and honesty in their personal relationships and professional lives. The story of Noah's Ark is one of the most well-known tales in the world. It tells the story of a man, his family, and the animals they saved from the Great Flood. The story has been told and retold for centuries, and it continues to captivate audiences to this day. In this essay, We will delve into the incredible true story of Noah's Ark and explore how one man and his family survived the Great Flood. The background story of Noah's Ark. The story of Noah's Ark is told in the Bible, specifically in the book of Genesis. According to the Bible, God was displeased with the wickedness and corruption of humanity and decided to flood the earth and start anew. However, God chose to spare a righteous man named Noah and his family, as well as pairs of every kind of animal, to repopulate the earth after the floodwaters receded. Noah was instructed by God to build an ark, a large boat that would serve as a refuge during the flood. According to the Bible, the ark was to be 300 cubits long, 50 cubits wide, and 30 cubits high. Noah was also instructed to gather 2 of every kind of animal, 1 male and 1 female, and bring them onto the ark with him and his family. The flood and survival. After the ark was completed, the floodwaters came and covered the earth. The Bible states that the flood lasted for 40 days and 40 nights, and that the water rose above the highest mountains on earth. However, the ark, with Noah and his family and the animals inside, flooded safely on the water. During the flood, Noah and his family cared for the animals and waited for the waters to recede. They were on the ark for a total of 370 days. According to the Bible, after the waters receded, Noah sent out a dove to find land, and it returned with an olive branch, indicating that the waters had receded enough for vegetation to grow. Finally, after over a year on the ark, Noah and his family and the animals were able to leave the ark and begin anew on dry land. Historicity and interpretations. The story of Noah's Ark has been subject to much interpretation and debate over the years. Some argue that the story is purely a religious allegory, while others believe that there is historical evidence to support the idea of a great flood that wiped out much of the world's population. The flood story is present in many cultures around the world, which has led some to believe that there may be some historical basis for the tale. However, the idea of a worldwide flood that wiped out all humans except for one family and pairs of every kind of animal is not supported by scientific evidence. Regardless of whether the story is seen as historical or allegorical, it remains a powerful tale of faith, survival, and redemption. It has been retold in countless forms throughout history, from religious texts to literature, film, and popular culture. Lessons from Noah's Ark. The story of Noah's Ark offers many lessons that can be applied to our lives today. One of the most important lessons is the importance of faith and trust in a higher power. Noah trusted in God's plan and followed his instructions even when they seemed difficult or impossible. The story also emphasizes the importance of perseverance and determination in the face of adversity. Noah and his family endured over a year on the ark, caring for the animals and waiting for the waters to recede. Their patience and determination ultimately led to their survival. The story of Noah's Ark also offers insights into the relationship between humans and animals. According to the Bible, God instructed Noah to bring 2 of every kind of animal onto the ark, suggesting that all living creatures have value and deserve to be saved from destruction. This idea has resonated with animal rights advocates and environmentalists who seek to protect biodiversity and the natural world. However, the story of Noah's Ark has also been criticized for its apparent lack of concern for the fate of the animals after the flood. Some have pointed out that the logistics of caring for such a diverse group of animals, many of which require specific habitats and diets, would be impossible for a single family. Additionally, the idea of all animals living in harmony on the ark contradicts the realities of predator-prey relationships and territorial behavior. Nevertheless, the story of Noah's Ark can be seen as an early example of conservation and stewardship of the earth. It reminds us of our responsibility to care for the planet and its inhabitants, and to strive for harmony and balance in our interactions with nature. The story of Noah's Ark also raises ethical and theological questions about the nature of God and the justification for the flood. Some have criticized the idea of a vengeful God who would wipe out most of humanity and all other living creatures, including innocent animals, as an extreme form of punishment. Others have defended the flood as a necessary step in God's plan to restore order and justice to a world that had become corrupt and violent. The story of Noah's Ark has also been used to support various political and social agendas. For example, some have used the story to justify patriarchal or authoritarian leadership styles, citing Noah's unquestioning obedience to God as an example to follow. Others have used the story to promote environmentalism or sustainable living, emphasizing the importance of preserving biodiversity and reducing our impact on the earth. Overall, the story of Noah's Ark is a rich and complex tale that has inspired countless interpretations and adaptations. Whether viewed as a historical account or a symbolic narrative, it offers valuable lessons about faith, perseverance, stewardship, and the relationship between humans and the natural world. Its enduring popularity is a testament to its timeless themes and universal appeal, and its legacy will continue to be explored and debated for generations to come.